India is one of the fastest growing alcoholic beverages market globally, with an estimated market size of $52.5 billion in 2020, and the market is expected to grow at a CAGR of 6.8% between 2020 and 2023, according to the Indian Council for Research on International Economic Relations. Hello everyone, this is Prachi Tiwari for SME Futures, and today we are interacting with Ajay Shetty, the founder and the CEO of Salud, to know what inspired him to start this brand in alcobev industry. So tell us a bit about yourself and your transition from banker to entrepreneur.
I used to be a banker, went to school in New York, worked in New York, worked in Hong Kong as a banker. Quit banking purely because I want to make a play in the alcobev space. And at that time, when I was making the move, I was very keen in the wine business. And then it was a pure jump in the dark. I had never worked in India. I'd left India when I was about 19, 20. And I was coming back to figure out a business and in an area that I'd never worked in. I just loved drinking, and I realized that there was a huge gap. I think that was the largest story. I think India was going through a huge gastronomy tick that time. There was gaps in the field of wine, so it was my first foray into business as such. So it was a blind, wild move as any entrepreneur would do. I would have done things very differently to the way I did it in the second time around with Salud. But that was a huge learning curve. And again, relocating from New York and then into Hong Kong and then into India was a big move by itself.
Can you briefly talk about your brand Salud and what inspired you to foray into alcobev industry, especially your focus on making flavored gins?
So I think the largest story was while we were going through the phase of selling my first foray in the business. I think by then I had realized the next market gap that I thought was very interesting, and it was in the field of ready to drink. It was nothing to do with a particular style of spirit or a particular style of flavor or anything else. It was more to do with the larger ready to drink market. And then we decided, because again, see, the biggest difference between me and most of the other entrepreneurs in this space is the fact that I'm a two-time entrepreneur in the liquor space, right? So that's my first difference. So I had a lot of in-ground knowledge of what it was going. Gin as a style of drinking or style of spirit was going through its renaissance. So that was a huge move. So we decided to bring the two things that was convenient drinking and a spirit that people associated with, to come out with the RTDs that we wanted as the first foray. What we're doing now as part of that idea is move to other spirits also. The flavors actually was different flavors, because I don't think anyone at that time or even now has flavors like lavender and cucumber in their foray in the spirit space, because I think people have only heard of it in either their soaps or otherwise. But as gins around the world, a lot of people drink it with cucumber, drink with the lavender flavor. So we want to introduce new flavors to the country, but at the same time, use spirits that people are familiar with and in a style that was going to be convenient.
The consumer's behavior has evolved in India, and who are your target audience?
I think the consumer style of drinking has obviously evolved. It's also due to the fact that it's a larger, more exposed audience. So we cater to the legal drinking age to the age of 27. That's our focus, because it's the first drink. It could be that kind of audience that we're catering to. The kind of audience that enjoys being classy but still aspirational in some sense. People who are non-conformist, modern, well-traveled, that kind of an audience, the audience that is trying things constantly, wants something convenient, is picking up and going and hanging out in places. Still, when they're out, want a good bang of the buck. So our drink is that versatile kind of drink that caters to them and appeals to these people. And that is what we're doing with, whether it's with our gin-based RTDs or any of the other drinks that are coming up in the future, including our super luxury gin. So it's kind of, I think we cater to a larger demographic, because we're able to, like most other brands already have a set thing. Because we're new, we're constantly pivoting and we're playing the field. We've still not found a perfect audience for all the brands. But the large scale brand that we are known for, the RTDs, we are clear that we want it for LDA, meaning the legal drinking age, wherever the region is, because it's different in each region, to the age of about 27. I think that's who we are targeting for. And that's why the price point is so low and it's aggressive.
How your consumers are responding to the Salud products, and what new products are you planning or in line?
So there's a bunch of things. I think it's 2 years. We've been in 4 markets. Obviously, there's a demand. We're continuing to grow. Our forecasting is doubling for this year. And we think we'll triple to quadruple the year after. So there is a lot on. We're moving to 12 states. We're adding a lot more countries. It would be pompous not to say this, but I would still have to. The fact that we are doing well, I think we've been phenomenal. The brand value has grown phenomenal. I think it's rare that Alcobev brand has converted into being an urban lifestyle brand. It's also because we promote clean, clear drinking. We are, we are obviously focused on multi-brand access to our community, that is the drinkers, the cloth wearer, the music listener, the NFT owners. So we've done something that's very different. I think it's easy to call it disruption, but I think it's much more than that. I think we are now evolving the way people want, and I think we see that with newer brands coming. We're all doing these things that we did, which was never done before. So in a way, we've set a lot of benchmarks for a lot of interesting things.
What are the trends you're seeing in Alcobev industry?
I think the trends are going to be moving towards rum. I think tequila, a lot of the rum the world has already kicked in. I think rum is an interesting place. That's an area of interest. I think whiskies as usual are growing, premium whiskies are. I think these are standard trends in pure IMFL. I think in the RTD segment, as such, I think it's going to be more and more. The seltzer business is different. The spirit-based businesses are different. So I think you will still see a growth. I think convenience drinking is going to see a good shoot. But in overall base spirit wise and interesting wise, I think it's the next couple of years is going to be the rum phase and the tequila mezcal phase. I think those two are going to be the interesting spirits to look at.
What is your vision for the brand, and which all countries are you targeting to expand?
I think the vision, we've had a vision for 5 years and 7 years from the day we started the company. I think that was a very clear vision. We are there on year 2 now, and getting to year 3. I think we are at that step where we are now moving from external facility to a leased facility that we have, and then we go into owning a facility. The goal is to be in 12 to 15 states within India, and this year we're going to be in 12 states. The international business is not our focus, genuinely speaking. The reason we do international business is it's been natural, meaning we were the first Indian company to win global awards for our RTD, for our Salud Lavender, Salud Cucumber, Salud Tonic, Salud Watermelon, have all won global awards, have been recognized. Our first foray into the gin space won the World Gin Masters, won IWSC, won London Spirits Competition. So we won a lot of awards, and with that comes international recognition, thereby international distributors wanting to touch your brand and work with it. That's how we've gone across. We've been lucky that the largest distributor in the Middle East, which is part of the Emirates Group, MMI, works with us. So that's been a huge plus. And so thereby we've tried 11 country contract with them. But as I said to you again, this year, the Middle East will consolidate. We have a couple of countries in Africa that we're looking at, UK for sure, because we have a facility that we work with or out of in Manchester, and Southeast Asia. I think between Singapore, Thailand, and one more, I think that's going to be our focus.
Thank you, Mr. Ajay, for your time.
Thank you.